All right.
Got it.
Yeah, I think we're set. We're set. Welcome, Pride League. We are in the afternoon on September 2nd, Friday, and I got a guest with me today. I want to introduce you guys to Griffycakes. Griffycakes, how you
What
doing?
up? Yes, league champion, first year inaugural. Yes, you guys let me have it. Thank you. I got a big trophy. It's just sitting on my mantle. Pride. You guys let me come in and dominate. Uh, you'll never live that down.
All right,
So,
all right. Before we just let him rant and rave, I got a few questions for our inaugural champion. One, tell the people about the inaugural champ. What makes Griffy Cakes Griffy Cakes?
well, I mean, a little bit about me. I have enjoyed getting to know a lot of you guys through the Discord and learning more about your guys' lives. I feel like I've done a good job of that, which has made me an excellent trading partner because I not just care about the great players you have, but I care about you too.
Oh,
Uh,
that's sweet.
yeah, thank you. And so I want to say first, thank you to Jacob and William for organizing this league and convening us all over the world, which is pretty great and pretty fun. And the banter that we've had and the organization, it is definitely the most complicated league I have ever been a part of. And I like to send the 30-page bylaws to my lawyer friends to help me understand them. And then they get to page 7. They're like, man, you're on your own. So yeah, so first of all, thank you guys for convening such a great league and not just wonderful commissioners, but a whole cast of characters that are so uniquely different in terms of how they approach fantasy football, how they approach trades. That's been a blast, and I love that this thing is year round, even though my brain can't function year round on it. So I'm always I can only do what's right in front of me. So I'm always right at the last minute. Like classy strippers will be like, you need to make $200 worth of cuts by
You need some
tomorrow,
roster
or
moves.
you make some roster moves, bro. And I see it coming. But I appreciate everybody's grace and patience with me on that stuff. And also, if you've sent me a trade and I don't get back to you right away, it's probably I don't get back to you right away because the trade's no good. So send a better trade, and I'll get back to you sooner. But anyway, so that's that. The thank yous for me. Also, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
I have 3 kids, 10, 7, and 4. I'm pretty involved in the civic scene here in Lexington and in Kentucky. And I have a business, primary business called Kentucky for Kentucky, and we make Kentucky inspired merchandise. So we do that on the regular, and then besides that, I have a background in branding and community development work. So I've kind of stayed busy, and right now I'm primarily the dude at home. So I get the kids to school and
That's probably your
make
most
sure
important job.
it's my most important job, and it's really rewarding and fulfilling. And we have a good we're in a good housing situation. We live right beside a big park. So if anybody's ever in Lexington or Kentucky, hit me up. I'd love to hang out with you. I even got a place for you to stay. You can stay at says at the Champions Dojo
All right.
and bask in fantasy glory. Maybe not yours, but at least mine. Um,
My
so
second
anyway, that's
question.
second question.
My second question, because it lead you kind of like segued it. Did you truly commemorate your championship with a trophy of sorts?
Actually, I truth be told, I don't want to lie to anybody. I haven't yet, but I will. I will do something. Maybe I'll make a trophy that we can pass around. I I committed to that actually after I won. I think I was talking to you, Jacob, that I asked if there was a trophy. And you're like, no Shiva. So maybe I'll get a Shiva that we can pass around, make it simple to send places.
And see,
Uh,
I really did think about maybe sending it all over the world and having it like the plaque updated. for the various leagues that I've won, I had the championship belt that, because I don't know, to me that thing was, there's you kind of see a little bit over there, a little bit.
I love it.
Um, and both of those belts, I destroyed classy strippers to get them, so they feel really good. I don't
That
know if
does
I
feel
would
good.
want to send it though. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh man, obviously I'd want to win it back. That would be high incentive for me, but for it to be lost in the mail somewhere, I'd
Yeah,
be pissed.
that's the thing. So maybe, yeah, maybe we can brainstorm on the best way to do that to commemorate somebody's glory. I think is important. History is important. So especially if you write it. So
Which
yeah,
I
we
got to
can do
do the
that.
history on the site, which I will do here shortly. Um, Third question. Let's go ahead and keep her moving. What should owners be focused on as they make their way to fantasy glory? Since you've made it to the mountaintop, is there any wisdom you'd like to impart?
I think, I mean, one really important one, specifically at Agent Smith, you need to make sure you're not talking shit going into the playoffs about how one team is really shitty and doesn't belong there, because that just fired my fuckers up. They were
Woo!
so fired up, and then for how many is it 4 straight weeks? I don't know how many straight, 3 straight, however many straight weeks it was. We just smacked and went
Didn't
to
matter who you
fantasy
played.
stud. We didn't matter. We really wanted to play Agent Smith and smack him down, but he didn't even get there. He didn't even get out of the. He didn't get out of the first round. So I would say that's number one. Be careful about your fantasy karma. Uh, and then this league is so wild because you really got to have the. You need 150 points out of the offense and defense each week for 300 totals to kind of cruise.
Right.
And if you don't have that, you're just hoping you get lucky. So I think that those players that understand that are going to be going places. I feel really good about my offense going into this year. My defense, I think, is a little suspect, but we'll see what we can do.
Even
But I
I,
guess
even I have underestimated how much value the defensive players. Classy strippers did some things with the points, and I was like, sure, whatever. I'm just gonna dominate. Whatever you do, go ahead,
yeah,
do it. And now I'm like, holy shit, I probably should have been paying a whole lot more attention to what he and that man
right.
did some wonderful things to make defense a whole lot more relevant than I even anticipated. So I'm gonna struggle for the next couple of years. I don't know if I'll focus on defense like that, but has your strategy changed on defense at all, or you? Because
Well, yeah, I hope I learned. Like, I think the power of the defensive linemen. Maybe it took me to the playoffs to reveal my hand, but kind of stacking those guys in there because a sack, is a sack for a defensive lineman is 9 points, which is the equivalent of a 30-yard touchdown. Um, and so I felt like going into it, my defense had really kind of gotten into shape, and then like Cam Jordan really he wanted the glory. Aaron Donald wanted the glory. Fred Warner wanted. All those guys really wanted the. Chris Jones. They all stepped up, and the time really just were didn't want to let me down, and really wanted to rub it into Agent Smith's face. But then what was fascinating, what's so crazy about that defense is, I go into the finals and it's me versus Unfuck, who's a juggernaut all season long, and I kind of do my thing, and I put up a really healthy number, and I think he's down so much that he had kind of sent in the concession speech
he sure
before
did. A little
his
early,
final guys. A little
way too
early,
early.
yeah. The game's the game, and
Mhm.
and he had that guy Alex Highsmith, and just kind of one series after another series, he kept on getting sacks, and he had like four. I think he had 4 sacks or something
I
crazy,
was
and it
worried
like
for you. I was worried for you.
I was worried. I was like, "There's no way." And then there was like this really amazing. I mean, that final thing. There was like what should have been a sack, but I think they called Ben Roethlisberger down, like he kneeled down or something. I think it's the Cleveland Steelers game, and so whatever it was, it on camera and in real time, both Unfuck and I were like, "Oh, that's a sack." And he even went as far to email the league trying to get them to reverse it. But I think they kind of came in and said he was down by contact. And so that was just one play. And then that obviously the emotional drama, the roller coaster of that final thing. He, I I think it was ping ponging back and forth, and then he went up by 0.1 or something, like, and then it seemed like it was over, but then it turns out on the final play, they throw it, and my guy, I guess the Browns throw it, and then my guy is Mika Fitzpatrick, and he gets a pass deflection, but you didn't see it on camera because they go over to dusty old Big Ben, who's like smiling, waving around, so you never saw it. And then it was only 20 minutes later, after everybody's congratulating Unfuck on his win, that I get the stat correction and get all the glory because of this pass deflection that was unseen. Oh my God, the drama! You couldn't write it to win by 0.01. To win by 0.01 when you have like so many players and so many different point scenarios for a game to be that close and for it to be the championship. Well,
can't script it. Can't script it.
Can't script it. But so yeah, shout out to Unfuck on an amazing season and great championship final for everybody else who weren't good enough to make it that far for helping provide the drama.
That was you can't ask for it any better. Except
you can't ask for it.
You can't ask for it any better. Question number 4. We're gonna run out of time, but this is beautiful. What are the perceived odds in your mind for a repeat, and will you overcome those odds?
Well, I don't know if I would imagine that it's just typically 1 in 14, right? That you would repeat, but I think because you can keep a team together, maybe you shift those odds a little bit. And I felt like some of my offseason moves, even though I had to give up my power squad of Mahomes and Kelsey, but to still end up with the 101 in the draft and draft Breece Hall, and then to get this kind of pretty dangerous gang of WR studs that I have. Granted, I have them as the meat that I feel like I'm in a good spot. If you look at the top 10 Dynasty players, I think I have a couple of them right now.
Defense, I think I still have you number 1. Despite the moves and stuff, when my rankings come out a little later this week or later next week, you might be pleasantly. I'm pleasantly surprised that the champ you're definitely top 3 in my ranking.
Well, yeah, thank you. And I think, and that could just be that could just be a legacy thing that you kind of put the champ as number 1 if there's nothing too dramatic.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
But yeah, it just will see. It's so interesting. I think this league, it can change so much, and that the trades are so complicated because of the cap consideration, and like running up against the cap, and like taking I've taken players on to get a trade, and now those players are just kind of dead junk on my roster, and you're like, okay, do I cut this guy? And so it's a really challenging dynamic. And then, to have cap going into the season, which we feel really good about our fiscal management compared to some of the other teams that are really just blew their wad and don't have draft picks and don't have good players. They're fucked. They're fucked.
And the way the league's set up, obviously you want to make it to be champion in year 4. That'll blow everything out of the water. And to kind of like your rival ADP, for one, that's going to bleed into the next question. My final question, your rival, what do you think ADP and his moves this offseason? Did he get better? Did he get worse?
Well, I think anytime when you trade for Patrick Mahomes, you possibly get better. And one thing I like about trading with ADP is he doesn't send any none of the trades are bullshit. They always come with a pot of gold, and they like make you think, and they're painful trades, because what he's asking for and what you are like, what he's asking for, but what you get back, and it's a lot of times they're really balanced. Maybe they don't start balanced, but they get balanced. And so
I think
And he's also like he's like a super data scientist guy, and
yeah, I
so
got
you
a
got to watch his ass.
Moneyball. I got a Moneyball effect from him. He made a pitch for Dalvin Cook for me, and I was like, I don't think I can argue that. I couldn't
Right,
argue it. I just had to give him Dalvin Cook.
right. So he can he swings with a big stick, and so that's always delightful to get those trades. To get the trades from him. Getting trades from him versus getting trades from my brother, the Hollywood Cole brother, is just those are just two different style of trading.
Just a little bit.
So
He's really just throwing things up on the wall. And I've traded with him a couple of times where I was like, oh, good. Here, yes, I
yeah,
will do
yeah,
it.
he's just a trader's trader. So that's really,
Yeah.
you need those guys. And then we definitely have some guys that are hard, like their guys, and it's hard to trade with. Also guys that play a really shrewd kind of game where like you're not. I mean, I get a successful trade is a trade that kind of like is a win for both players involved, and also kind of like to the detriment of every other player. So I kind of think about that in a successful trade. But then there's some players that are just like they kind of send you a pretty lopsided thing, and it's just like this is not gonna
This
fly. And then you try to even it out, and they're like, nope, nope.
And you're like,
I'm
what do
looking
you
at you,
mean? No?
looking at you, classic strippers. It's tough. But yeah, you don't get to be the king by just spending it and throwing it around. But I think a lot of teams made a lot of really good moves, and it's I think my strategy is instead of dump for draft picks and kind of try to build up to year 4. I'm trying to think about a perpetual championship window. So just stay in the mix.
Because anything can
And
happen in the playoffs.
yeah, just get into the playoffs. Like that's where I was last year. I think I was a six seed or 6 or 7 seed. So kind of I was at the bottom, or maybe I was a 5th seed, but kind of
Right.
barely a 5th seed. So I get it. Just get in the playoffs. Anything can happen, and yeah, it's a wacky game. It's but it's fun. It's a fun game, and I love the wackiness of it.
Part 2 of that question about ADP, your previous rival, we just had a rule change where your rivals will be dictated by the standings, right? You were number 1, you should be playing 14th, but we still got the randomizer. Is there anybody in particular you'd like that randomizer to land on for your rival this year?
I think my rival is actually Agent Smith. I think
Ooh, you
nobody
want
upset our
Agent
team.
Smith. You
Yeah,
want Agent Smith.
nobody upset our team more than Agent Smith, and nobody is meaner to our players, my team's players, than Agent Smith. So if there was a
Gauntlet.
chip on our shoulders, yeah,
Gauntlet.
we gotta go after Agent Smith. I keep on liking to be that Neo character, and go fucking all 4 matrices on that asshole.
I heard that. Well, as part of what we got going on, I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
Oh yeah,
We are definitely going to hit this regenerate regular season matchups right now with you on the call. That's the beauty of being the champ. You get to be privy to what happens behind the scenes just a little bit,
this is epic.
right?
This is
So
epic.
right
I love
now,
it.
it has the matchups right here. So I mean, I'm out. This will be the last time we do this randomly. It'll be standings
Right.
based, thanks to the rule change, and I think that's taking a little bit of luck out of the game. I mean, Dynasty Sage was my rival, and I tried to treat him as such. But I think he made some moves in the offseason. But boy, did I love winning twice. You know what I mean? You know
Bust
what I
that
mean?
ass. You hear that, Dynasty? Your ass got busted. Damn.
All right, so let me go ahead and hit this before we run out of time, and then we can talk about it a little bit. All right, this will wipe out all existing season matchups. Submit. Did it do it? All right, here we go. We gotta hit the save, right? I'm gonna hit save and continue just to make sure. I haven't even looked yet. All right, so we're gonna go back to matchups. If I can get here, there we are. All right, all right, all right. So let's go ahead and start with you, Griffy. Is it the same?
I don't know. I can't actually. I just see a list of.
Oh, it's definitely different. You have ADP again, though.
Oh, as my. I see. As my. I play ADP twice. I see. That's great. All right.
That's
Here
great.
I go.
Well, Agent
Yeah.
Smith is going to have to go another year without being. He's going to play West Coast Giants. I know it's different because I had Dynasty Sage last time, and this time I have Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, and me and Wubba
Oh, you
Lubba
gotta
Dub
watch
Dub
Wubba
go
Dubba
back.
Dub. He's got a good squad. You know,
He's going to be tough.
he's got a lot of power.
All right,
I think
so
he's like he's got Eckler. Is he Eckler and he's got Eckler and Cup,
yeah,
right?
it's gonna be a trial by fire against Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. And my team, I was this close to kind of like giving my shit away like Oprah. Like
Mm,
you get a quarterback, you get a tight end. But I kind of stayed with it, because of the cap space. There wasn't gonna
right,
be a huge swing, right? Everybody's kind of up against it, myself included. But after this season, years
right.
3 and 4, those are gonna be my I gotta win 3 and 4. That's gonna be my real goal. If I get into the playoffs this year, I'll tussle. Me and Josh Allen ain't no chumps. We're gonna tussle.
Sure.
But
But yeah, I think that's going to be so fascinating, the great reset that will happen next year,
mm,
next off season, going into 23 for all the quarterbacks. A lot of the big quarterbacks are off the books. So yeah, it's going to be wild.
it's going to be huge in free agency. Hopefully, I mean, what was your thoughts on the MFL and free agency? Was it a little too wonky?
It, I've never liked MFL. It's a little too like Microsoft versus Apple for me, like the user interface, and
I agree.
kind of doing kind of bouncing, kind of trying to bounce back and forth between the two sites because I was trying to look at like statistics from Fantrax, and then kind of cross reference. So I think that was hard, and I think that question of a quick auction versus kind of a slow auction
Mm,
is a really really interesting, and I can see the argument both ways. So I think that's a fascinating thing to see if like, hey, could we just do this all at once? But yeah, granted there were trades and so yeah, I'm kind of neutral. I'm neutral. I can do whatever. Was familiar enough with MFL, and I've kind of finally started to understand Fantrax that much more.
I like
So
Fantrax. The user interface in Fantrax is impressive to me. Like when I go in there, I mean, that was the first year I'd ever used it, and I've been an
hmm
ESPN guy. I did CBS. I've done Yahoo. I've done a lot of them. And as
hmm
far as user friendliness, I don't know. ESPN probably is top notch when it comes to user friendliness, but I like Fantrax. I don't know why. And maybe I'm alone in that thought, but I don't know.
No, at first I was kind of overwhelmed. I was like, man, there's a lot I don't understand. I didn't quite understand it all, but I think yeah, a year of learning curve has kind of got me that much more. Um, yeah, just used to it. So yeah, I think Fantrax. If I would rate Fantrax way above MLF, and especially if you have all of this control from your guys' side to make it possible. I'm
Classy
in the
Strippers
ringer.
would probably argue. He's like, as a commissioner, he's like, NFL's better, and I can see that too. There's just
Right.
a subtle trade off, and I don't think Fantrax is terrible. This free agent
Uh-uh.
stuff is kind of they got to change that. They've got to at least have this feature.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, I'm man, I've been doing this fantasy flood relief league. I
Oh
got
yes,
classy strippers in, and it's been great. We've raised a lot of money. We've raised like 20 grand so far, but I kind of integrated it with I got I got kind of synced up with the guillotine league guy Paul Charchian through this other thing, and it's been a cumbersome pain in the ass. And like we launched it the other night and it all crashed, like
oh
because we
mercy.
didn't have everybody in the thing, and I have like 144 people trying to like live draft, and it's like, and then like things are like people will get put on auto draft accidentally. So like working with that clunky ass software, has been a pain. And I don't have any, like, I'm not in the back end. I'm not even the commissioner of these leagues. I'm just a player, like interfacing with with the guy who's kind of making it all happen. And I'm appreciative of him, but it's also been a really trying process. And there has to be, I'm curious of an easier way to get a lot of people to play who have a wide variety of experience, but also can have a really good experience and make it a low barrier to entry. And that's kind of why I didn't do it on MLF, because it's like the user interface, if you've never played, is really difficult. So I don't know. So yeah, I'm a little bit going back to the drawing board on this thing after I get this thing going this year to figure out if there's a better way to kind of raise money and have a better user interface.
I probably would have joined the league because it's an honorable thing, and I'm glad Classic Strippers has. But his mind for fantasy football is. I tried multiple leagues, and there were times where I were in 3 or 4, but this thing consumes me. Like I can't. I was the previous champion of the other league, and I was like, I had to make a choice because I was just shitty in both. But kudos to that. I saw in the Discord, guys. If you're capable of managing all these leagues, it's a very good cause, and it's awesome. Even though there's been some struggles, it's still worthy. And
we're selling now, but definitely the launch was like a botched launch, and then you had to reconfigure, reset. But we're rocking now.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, we got a couple minutes left. Is there anything you have to say or anything that you'd like to mention to anybody that might have got left out?
In case you missed it, Griffycakes back to back. Here we go. What's Jameis Winston do? He eats the dubs. Eating dubs like Jameis. Have you seen that?
Throw some crab legs in there and eat them dubs.
Yeah. Eat them dubs. So I'm going to try to eat some dubs. The fax lines are open. As always, looking to make some trades. Come visit me in Lexington. I want to hang out with y'all.
Well, that's Griffy in a nutshell, and an ambassador to the game, definitely worthy of being our inaugural champion. If you guys don't like it, all you got to do is dethrone the champ. Do we have what it takes? All right. I've taken enough of your time, Griffycakes. I appreciate you taking the time out to see us and address your subjects.
Oh, shit. Come on. Try to get my dubs.
I'm going to holler at you if that's all right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.